Hello class, this is Dr. Ogilvy and welcome to the summer semester histology online class. When you log into Blackboard, most of you probably have done this before, but in case you haven't, you should see this page where you have announcements that will show up here, but they're also going to show up in the course website. And in this course is Bio 530, J, and then you'll have different sections. Summer 2014. So I'm going to click on this and you will see in the first bulletin information about how to change your email. I'll just show you that really quick. You click over there, you see what I did. I clicked on personal information when I'm in my USC page. And when I click on personal information and then click on edit personal information, then I can check and see what email address I have there or you have there. In this case, this is the course email address. You are going to be instructed in the first bulletin to make sure that you make a contact for this address, bioj530@gmail.com. Because when you generate email personally directly to me or to one of the instructors, this is what you should do. You should start a fresh email, not respond to our mass emails we send out. So I'm going to cancel this and we're going to get right into the course. So I click on courses up here and I'm clicking on the summer 2014. So the very first page you see, the default page, is always going to be announcements. Now I call announcements, every time I post an announcement, I'm going to call it bulletin. Last semester we had 12 bulletins. This first bulletin is how to get started in the course. So you want to read this and you're going to want to do the 4 actions that are indicated here. Actually, not 4, but 6. Okay, and when you do those, for example, be sure to read this carefully here. You need to get the lab guide, the WebMic study guide in the Russell House, or if you're in Charleston, you get it at Matthews Medical Bookstore at the Medical University of South Carolina. This is required and essential for the course. You notice there is a 6th edition, and that's the one that's being printed and available now if you buy it new. If you buy a used one, then there are some corrections and some changes, and the cover is different. And I said eventually I will probably ask how many have used copies, and then I can post some of the changes, because if you have a used copy, you'll probably need that. Nothing major, but I had to clean up some things. Okay, so you're going to be instructed right away to go and download the course syllabus and schedules. And you see, this is where you get this. And the first email I sent out, I actually included this calendar schedule. And you really need to look at this very carefully and see if you really have the time to commit to this course. Because it is very intense in the summer, and we squeeze 4 months of duration in the fall and the spring into 2 months in the summer. Okay, so we're going to go back to the course website. And so I want you to look over here now, and we'll go back to the default page. And just look over on the side. You have announcements, syllabus and schedule, check in and get started. You're going to be directed to that here in this first bulletin. And the course staff, you're going to look at that. You're going to see the 2 instructors, me, Dr. Ogilvy, and I manage it online and I direct the course, and Dr. Sawyer is my colleague and instructing the course, and then Dr. Weir-Bow, who is a teaching assistant. Make sure that you are not timid or hesitant to visit the tech and troubleshooting page. And at the very end, it has Blackboard support and the number you call and where you can visit on campus to get help if necessary. We respond quite quickly to requests for help. And by the way, where would you post that? Well, that's on the discussion board, and that's down here. I just clicked on the discussion board. We have a highly structured discussion board. Even typos and errors can be posted here. You can assist each other by posting here. Here's a forum for BioLucid installation and WebMic, course syllabus questions, course schedule, website questions, lecture content questions, WebMic lab, BioLucid lab specimens, module quizzes, midterm and final exam. Highly structured. Now, you must not be timid about posting questions. This is like raising your hand in class. Now, I know that some people do not want to do that, but you've got to do that. You've got to be bold. You've got to be transparent. And anything that has to do with the content of the course, even asking a question about a question on a quiz, we do not entertain those by email. Those are not personal. Those are about the course content. Nothing about the course content and conversation about it is personal. What is personal is if you have an emergency, you have something that keeps you from meeting a deadline, and hopefully you'll know ahead of time. But if you don't and you have a good documented excuse, we will work with you. Those things are personal. If you have a question about the points you earned on a quiz, not the question about a question on a quiz, but the points you earned, or your total point accumulation during this course, those are personal matters. Okay, so this is the look that you will have now before June the 2nd. After June the 2nd, I will show you before I finish this video what it would look like. But let's go on here, and under graded work, quizzes and exams, you're not going to see any quiz or exam right now. But what you are going to see, you'll be able to read now, even between now and June the 2nd, all about how our module quizzes are set up in the midterm and final. You'll see you can download the histology word list that you can have when you're taking quizzes in midterm and final. And you'll be able to go here, which you really have to do this, and take these sample quizzes. And actually, the 2 sample quizzes and the syllabus quiz, you're not going to actually see any part of the course modules where you do your work until you have taken the sample quiz one time and part B one time. There is a video here that's going to be able to go through, and it'll coach you on the best way to take a quiz and exam. Okay, so that's with quizzes and exams. And then your module quizzes and midterm and final are going to show up under here as the course proceeds. Very important, and you can do this now, WebMic under Lab Resources. Make sure you go through this as soon as you possibly can. Make sure that WebMic is working. Follow all the instructions on here. Look at both of these videos. One is a tour of WebMic, and the other is a tour of the WebMic study guide and WebMic and how you will work together with those. Okay, and then under here, BioLucid. BioLucid, you're going to download a very light client that's going to reside on your laptop or your desktop, and it's also present on some lab computers on campus. But follow this very carefully. Click and download the instructions, watch the video, and then watch the video to orient you to BioLucid. Okay, and if you do all that and get it installed, you'll be able to take the sample quizzes because Part B is going to rely on this BioLucid to be installed. Okay, and I just visited the discussion board. You can email one another if you like, but if you want to email us, you can select a certain instructor to email by going here, and I believe that's possible. Let me see now whether I'm not sure that's possible in the it's not really working for me right now, but the best way to email, oh, there it is. Now these are actually the entire class, but you can email personally here. But again, the best way to email the instructor is to make that contact for the course email address and send it directly. Okay, and also the last thing I'll show you here is the help. If you click on that as a student, you can type in a search query or you can go over here and get some specialized help in Blackboard if you need it. And they also have little quick videos that you can watch. Okay, so I'm going to pause this now, and I'm going to prepare this so that we can look at how it's going to look after June the 2nd. Once you have taken the syllabus quiz, the 2 sample quizzes, and also here on this check-in and get started, which is probably where you were when you clicked to take a tour of the course website. And you're going to need to mark this page reviewed down here when you finish it. So you'll mark this page reviewed. You're going to take the syllabus quiz where I'm going to show you in the view after June the 2nd. And you're going to take the 2 sample quizzes. Once you've done that, and that really needs to be done in the first few days, then all the modules, 5 module folders with the lectures and the quizzes, everything will be released to you, but not until then. Okay, we must do that because if we don't, then you will put it off, and we just can't allow that for your benefit because you really need to keep up. Okay, I'm going to pause this for a moment. I'll be back. Okay, this is how the course website will look beginning June the 2nd at 8 a.m. in the morning. You'll have pretty much all of this was already there, but you will have the course modules, a graduate student paper, or the graduate students in the course are required to write and submit a paper, and that will be visible. Quizzes and exams was already visible, and I already explained about the WebMic and BioLucidate. But outside resources, we give you a glossary, we give you tips, and various external slides and websites to visit to reinforce what you're learning in the course. And then we have a list of recommended texts. There are no textbooks required, except for the lab manual, the WebMic study guide. That is required. But as far as the histology text, no. But we do. But when you click on this, you can visit and read about possible texts if you want to get one. We'll have a class roster here so you can see that, and there are some groups, but we really don't organize the class in groups as more for administrative purpose. You will see my grades here. You can also access my grades on my USC. So when you go there, it'll be right here. But if you're in the course, then we do put a link on the course website where you can actually click on my grades. We may have some surveys, we always do, where we ask you for feedback during the course. And there will be various tools and then, of course, the help. But now let's just visit quickly, before I finish this, the course modules. That link will be there. In fact, I'm going to put that up there so that you can see this, but none of these folders will show up below here until, as I said before, you have to mark the course check-in page reviewed. You have to take the syllabus quiz. You have to take both the sample quizzes, for Part A sample quiz, Part B sample quiz. Once you've done all that, you will see these modules. When you access a module, and here is the first one, I'm just going to show you what it looks like. What you're going to see is you're going to have an overview and assignment, and then you're going to have the page out of the detailed schedule that you can download from here. You're going to have the page for that module. So if I click on that, that's what it looks like. And you see this is a kind of a summary of what you need to be doing. And then for every lecture, we give you the time it takes to watch and listen to the lecture. We estimate the time to complete each lab unit. And then we total those up in minutes and hours so that you have a clear idea during this period of time, which happens to be 2 weeks, 2 5-day weeks, 10 days. The other modules are shorter. They vary depending. And so that's what you're going to have there. And then here's kind of a summary so you know what you're about during that module. And then we give you some other extra helps. There's always a practice quiz where where you can actually go in and interact and answer questions, and you can take these quizzes as many times as you want. They're not graded, but all the students in the past that have done well have taken these quizzes. Many do not, and I see a definite effect on the quiz scores in the final grade. And then there will be a link to a module quiz, and then each of the lectures, you'll click on the lecture here, for example, to watch the introductory lecture. You'll click on it, and then you're going to get another click here to launch the lesson, and then that's going to come up in a floating window that you can resize if you like. And once you do
Welcome to Histology Online.
So see, here is the first
Dr.
lecture.
Sawyer and I are delighted that you have enrolled in this course.
You'll be able to go through the lecture.
These are the topics.
At the end of the lecture, there's always going to be a quiz there, and that quiz is going to count for your grade. You have to see the syllabus to understand what it's all about. You answer the questions, and when you finally get to the end, then you're going to, after you answer those questions, there'll be a submit button to submit the quiz. So each one of these lectures exactly like that. And the last point I will make here is that for each lecture, if you click here, you can download a PDF of the lecture, which will show you all of the slides in the lecture and all the text that I speak during the lecture. So that is something you can download on your computer, print it out, use it to study offline. The successful students in this course that get A's, high B's, always tell me they print these out. They watch each of the lectures, they take notes, they pause the lecture to understand things. I have many students who have short-circuited that or taken shortcuts, and believe you me, it doesn't pay off. Now, there's no guarantee. If you do all that, you're going to get a B or A. But I guarantee you that's what all the very good students, that is, students who do well in the course, tell me. And if you want to read all about that, just go to the back of the syllabus, the last few pages of the syllabus, and you'll read what former students say. So I think I have pretty much taken care of all that. If you need more real estate or space, if you're doing something in the course, you can always hover your cursor over the border here about this level, and you can click that, and that will give you a full page without the menu, but then you have to go and find that again and come back. Okay, I think that should get you started. So good luck, and I'll see you in the course, either by email, discussion board, where we respond. We have a reputation of responding in a very timely manner. So don't hesitate to post on the discussion board. And if you have a personal matter, don't hesitate to email me directly.